We're just going to start the show with your head wobbling. All right. Welcome to episode 12 of the Zenspath podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Powers, and joining me today is...
Hi, I'm Caleb, and I'm here with the Jer Bear.
What? No. Jer Bear? What? You waited until we were live to do that. I know you.
Yes.
Oh. You punk. All right. So it's November 25th, 2017. I hope all of you here in North America had a great Thanksgiving with family, friends, or just a thing of food. That can be a lovely relationship on its own. Now, people outside of it, I hope you guys had a good Thursday. It's good Thursday. Yeah, good Thursday.
Yeah, good Thursday. Yeah. Not a bad Thursday.
You can still be thankful, but have a good Thursday. So, Caleb, what have you been up to, man? What have you been playing? We haven't been around for a little bit.
Yeah, well, Battleship Brigade. That's fun. Thing is, there's just too many games.
On a Nintendo system. How long has it been since you got to have that complaint?
Well, so I said that one bad thing about the Switch was there's too many games. No.
Yeah, they complained there was not enough games on the Wii U. Because this is my library so far.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, that's how many games I have on the Switch. Not counting digital. This is just physical titles. I've been playing it a lot. Some of them I haven't even started yet. Like I'm going to be streaming this one live on Twitch. We got the equipment going for that. And I've actually been streaming a little bit of Skyrim. And then, of course, I know you'll appreciate this one, Caleb. I had to get this. Axiom Verge. I got the collector's.
I haven't played that yet. I want to, though.
I got the collector's
really
edition. It's only like $30 for the collector's edition, which comes with an art book, a CD, a DVD, or a Blu-ray for behind-the-scenes stuff, for how they made it, and a bunch of other stuff. They had a copy down at the store. You should go pick it up.
Probably will.
Fabulous. Yeah, I think they have one left, but I'm sure I could get them to hold it for you. All right. Oh, where'd you go, Caleb?
What?
You glitched out for a second, just disappeared.
Oh, sorry. That's at the Callaway one, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All inside baseball.
But
Callaway what? Anyways, Battle Chef, go ahead.
Yeah, Battleship Brigade, which is really fun. It's like a 2D action fighter thing. It's not really a fighter, sorry. It's like a 2D action brawler. There we go. And then you hunt down these monsters, and then you have like a map. That's your cooking. It's really fun. And then Mario Odyssey a little bit. I said Hyrule Warriors. Fire Emblem Warriors.
I've said that a few times. And I'm just kind of like, whoops.
The Hyrule Warriors expansion pass where they put in all the Fire Emblem characters.
That would be the greatest and most confusing DLC Nintendo had ever made.
And then I've been playing a lot of Borderlands, the pre-sequel, because it went on sale on my PC. What else? Dot Hack came out on the PlayStation, the HD one, or whatever.
Oh, nice.
I wasn't prepared. I thought it was just going to be like one game. I didn't know there were 4, but they put all 4 in the one thing. It's like, I was not prepared for this. No, this is hundreds of hours. I know it.
So yeah, there's a whole bunch of gameplay and all that fun stuff.
Let's see what else.
There's
just a lot.
There has been a lot.
I can think of it now.
A whole bunch of gameplay.
And Sonic Forces on my PC. That's right.
You got Sonic Forces on PC. Interesting. These two have been most of my gaming recently, other than Mario. It's been Skyrim and Doom. These two little cartridges have just eaten up almost all of my gameplay. It's just so good. Have you played Doom yet on there? Well, we'll get to that in a little bit.
I say I haven't played Doom at all. Not yet.
Should have gotten Kyle. Kyle knows Doom. All right, so let's go down the list. The first thing we have to discuss today is a little game called Super Mario Odyssey.
It's not little. Why would you lie?
Dude, it's little. It is very, very little. Have you seen the size of these cartridges?
Okay, the cartridge.
It's in a cartridge that size. So I am technically right, which is the worst kind. Oh, God, I've gotten so many games for my Switch. It's ridiculous. There's another one you should try out. It'll do 2 or something. It's weird. Anyways, Mario Odyssey. So, oh, wow. We're going to try and keep it spoiler-free. When we might later get me, you, Brent, and some other people together to just freely talk about the game, because there is so much stuff in this game. I've been slowly easing up on my Twitter feed, sending out more pictures and videos and stuff. I waited so people wouldn't get spoiled, but now I'm like, all right, it's been like a month. You're ready. Here's all the goodness of all the ridiculous crap I've done. Oh, that game is so good. The controls are perfectly fine-tuned. Movement is really good. And there's a lot of subtlety to it. Like if you actually play, I prefer playing with 2 separate Joy-Cons, because you can use the motion to throw the hat in different ways and do other little tricks for movement, which is how I've gotten a lot of the stars or moons. Sorry, I keep wanting to say stars, but it's moons. But I will like take high dives off of these really tall structures and use the tricks to get right onto it and just dive bomb into a moon that I'm supposed to do some other thing to get. And I don't want to do it normal. Why bother?
Why bother? Yeah, I've seen some crazy stuff where people are like, all right, we're going to do the Koopa race, but instead of going the way they want me to, I'm just going to jump up this little wall behind me in a way that you're not really supposed to do it. You get the moon in 13 seconds. I'm like, oh my goodness, people.
Yeah,
it's all crazy.
Well, apparently there's some glitch with the jump rope where you get stuck in the air and it just keeps counting. And some guy was like just sitting there and it's like it's 600 something just going. I'm tempted to do that just because that's the one of the stars that are moons that has driven me nuts, trying to get to 100. I guess you're supposed to jump when the lady says something. She'll go like, "Hey," like that, but it gets gets a little tricky. I don't know. I've made it every time I try it. I get one. I know every time I do it, I've literally gotten one higher. So
hey, you're getting better.
So I guess I have 25 more attempts because I get to about 75 and I die. So we'll see. Or I don't die, it just stops. They're not like killing you. They just strangle you.
Die now.
The people are creepy enough they could do it. I cannot recommend this game enough. If you only get one game on the Nintendo Switch for some weird, stupid reason, I'd probably have to say you get Mario Odyssey. It's just ridiculously big. Have you messed around with the 2-player mode at all? The co-op?
Have not.
It's actually a lot of fun. I let my daughter play as Mario, and she's running around playing the game. And I was playing as Cappy, and I can use the hat to take over stuff for her or attack things. But the kicker is, even when you take over something, you're still moving around, so you get more abilities you don't normally have. So while she's running around as this creature, I'm still the hat hitting things, which is weird. I guess the power was in Mario the whole time. So I don't know. We'll keep it kind of short. Like I said, we won't go into major spoilers, but you have to get this game.
Yeah, it's really fun. I wasn't expecting it the way I wasn't expecting it to turn out the way it did, or expecting as many things to collect, that kind of thing. It was weird.
Well, I was worried they showed too much during the trailers, and now I'm like, oh, I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing.
I knew not what they had in store.
Like the T-Rex, everyone's like, why did they show the T-Rex? It's literally I think the second world you go to. It's like you immediately get the T-Rex, and you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm all in. Let's go. And then the other instances of the T-Rex is where the surprises come from, which is great. So
I would say that there is one capture that's the best, but I won't talk about which one that is.
Does it happen to be in the Cooking Kingdom? Because that's the one that just broke me. Like I could not stop. We were playing it during game night, and we had this capture. And as soon as it started to move, the way the animation of it moving was, I literally fell over laughing and could not stop for a few minutes because it was just so weird. That's the beauty of it. I think we're thinking of different ones. The Cooking Kingdom.
Yeah, well, there's two different captures.
It's the one that leads to the boss battle.
Oh, I mean, okay, yeah. I thought that was like,
well, that was funny because I was like, why is it doing that? And when you start to move, just the way it's animated and the look of the fact everything you capture has a mustache. and this thing with a mustache and a cap. I was done. That was it. That was the most ridiculous thing they could have possibly done.
I was thinking more of a certain. I don't want to say anything. Hold on.
Are you about to message me? Are we actually using the chat we just talked about being pointless?
Well, I don't want to like spoil anything.
Oh, yeah. You could have just said the one at the very end of the game.
Well, I didn't even want to spoil that either.
Well, I mean, it's if you say something happens at the end of the game and you don't say what the end of the game was and what you're actually doing, it's not really a spoiler. It's more of a hint or something to get excited for.
So that was great, though. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that was really funny. It broke a couple rules of the game, though, which was kind of funny as well. Because, that I can't explain because it would break it. But anyways.
Oh.
So we're talking about, the Switch and the amounts of, the games that are out for right now. It's been a massive amount. Third-party developers have been just flocking to the Switch now. A majority of my games
sold, and it's probably going to sell more.
I mean, I look at it
coming this December.
This whole giant list of games I have, if I pull out all the ones that are first party, which I don't know, was this one? I don't even think this one was published, but this is a different company. Yes, that's third party. So we'll take out Mario, grab all these. Still okay. Splatoon 2 comes out. All right, there goes Pokken. There goes Mario Kart. See, Mario Rabbids, does this count? This is Ubisoft. It's technically third party, but
that's a third party.
But you know what? We'll take it out as an oddball because they're still.
I mean, it doesn't. It's kind of in the realm of it has the IP, but it's made by
Zelda's come out, ARMS, 1-2 Switch, and Fire Emblem. So, out of all those games, these are third-party titles.
Yay!
I mean, that's ridiculous. Third party versus first party versus somewhere in between. That game is weird in every way, even how it's defined.
I haven't played it yet. Heard it's good.
It's so good. It's XCOM for everyone. A surprisingly large amount of people will be like, this is really great. I think I'm going to try XCOM now. And the XCOM developers are like, yes.
That's so weird, but yes.
You started off in a great place. Come to us. Who cares?
I guess we gotta put XCOM on Switch now, huh?
Well, I mean,
hey, they could put in costumes.
Did EA make XCOM? Because if so, EA has no interest in bringing it to the Switch now.
I'm not exactly sure.
They didn't. It's a good game that doesn't microtransaction the hell out of you. So basically, EA has decided it will not support the Nintendo Switch at this time.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, Caleb, do you want to read me the absolute BS reason as to why, or their statement as to it?
Yes. The reason started when they wanted to fully understand what the demand is before committing more titles to the Switch. And Switch is selling more than every other system, despite being restocked regularly.
But
that makes you.
Yeah,
we got you. We understand.
This system is selling like crazy. It is incredibly popular. Developers are falling over themselves to get their games onto it. And for once, they are doing a respectable and good job of doing it. We're not getting ports that are broken or missing major parts and things like that. We're getting full games with DLC included, special features, even exclusive features brought to it now. And everyone's like, oh, wow. So they will buy third-party games. We just don't have to make crap.
Wow. Who would have thought? Oh, my goodness.
All these games you would buy as long as they weren't broken ports. I mean, hell, even EA has sold a bunch of their newer FIFA game, but they're saying that's not enough for them to actually constitute doing it. Which, whatever.
If we can't put loot boxes in there, we don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it.
We'll get to that.
I mean, honestly,
later on.
Can you think of an EA game that you're disappointed you're not seeing on the Switch? Right now, I can't really think of any other than I'm sure some people want sports games, which I think Madden should have been on it. That would have been a good one for portability and just being able to, here's a controller, let's play around. Stuff like that is good, but a lot of the games that they have coming out have been commercially not very well received and have been heavily reliant on, season passes and loot boxes and crap like that. So I don't know. Is it really that big of a loss that EA is not there right now? And they're kind of pissing everybody off. Even if they do come there, people are going to want to buy it. I don't know. So, Caleb, who does want to support the Switch?
I'll tell you, Bethesda. They want to support the crap out of the Switch right now.
Yeah, you are not kidding. Most of my
with the
Bethesda right now. And that says a lot when I have Zelda and Mario and Splatoon 2, and I'm like, Doom, Skyrim, And we got the better case cover. Don't laugh. That's important. compared to regular Doom, I love this case so much more. Skyrim is just kind of like, look, we're Skyrim. You're going to buy us. It's a black label. There you go.
We don't need to try.
Which, I mean, that's two highly rated, very well done, mature rated games on the Switch very quickly. And that's not even counting the fact I haven't got LA Noire yet. I'm still waiting to get that one. That's another one that's gotten really good reviews for a mature rated title. I've got Binding of Isaac that's on there, just a whole kind of things. But so Bethesda, they jumped straight in with all this support. Now they're coming up saying that, we still have Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, coming early next year, which I actually decided to wait, and I'm going to play it on the Switch instead of getting it on Xbox One. Unless there's like a really good sale, then I might get it. I don't know. We'll see. But the way they're viewing the Switch is very different from how EA is. EA says, hey, we don't understand it. We want to see if it does better. Bethesda's going, dude, this is an entire new market for us who may have never experienced these things or experienced them for the first time. We want to be there, and we're bringing all of the big ones, everything that people want to see. And there's even talks of stuff like Shinji Mikami, who makes, I believe he was the one that worked on Resident Evil 4, and he's also worked on The Evil Within. They're showing interest in bringing Evil Within 2 to the Switch. Nothing officially announced, but the fact that they're hinting that, hey, we might want to do this because it was published by Bethesda as well. I mean, I want to play the game, so that would be a good way for me to play it. Have you picked up Doom or Skyrim yet?
I have not. Excuse me. I have put like 300 hours of Skyrim on my PC with mods and stuff like that. I think I'm good with Skyrim.
But is it tiny and cute and little tiny cartridge?
And that little tiny cartridge will eat up all my time if I get it on the Switch.
You are not wrong.
Just bring it everywhere.
Crap. I'm not playing it right now because my kids are in the other room and they didn't want to be in the living room, so I hooked up a monitor in their bedroom, and I have an extra dock, so they're using the Switch in there right now. Otherwise, I'd be like, sure, Caleb. Yeah, let me get to this real quick.
Yeah, this is a great podcast.
You just be seeing the top of my head the entire time. Just sure.
Then all of a sudden I'll hear a Fusroda.
Yeah, stupid wizard. That's
as for Doom. Well, see, I like my FPS on like PC. Doom on PC a little later on.
They did a really good job though. Like,
I know a friend Kyle has had mixed reactions with Doom on the Switch though. I've seen the Twitter feeds, but he's like, yeah, I like it, and then no, I didn't like this, but I like it, but I didn't like this part, but I like this.
See, I went in and I played it on Xbox One, beginning to end. It was almost a marathon game. I played it for an entire weekend, just playing the heck out of it, and absolutely loved the game. The way it was presented, the way the controls were, the weapon choices, the enemy designs, everything was just beautifully handled. And then I got it on the Switch and was surprised at just how good of a job they did bringing that over, that I'm playing through it again. And I have no problems playing through it again. The challenge is still there. The controls are still there. The weapons, the enemies, the level design, everything is exactly there. Yeah, it's running at 30 frames instead of 60, but it's pretty steady on that. I haven't had any major issues with it. Its resolution does scale, but I haven't noticed anything, major with that. The textures and stuff are not going to be there. Yes, if I look at my Xbox One version and I look at the Switch version, I can tell a graphical difference. We literally had it on handheld while playing the other one on the TV and could see the differences. But when you're just playing it and you're just running around, you're getting in the action, it doesn't matter. It just plays perfectly. And it's a really good shooter on the Switch that didn't have one like that before. This is something that, if they'd brought it over to the Wii U would have been nice, but it's, they didn't support it that well. The Wii U's architecture is a little bit different, but the Switch is already within less than a year to the point of almost outselling the Wii U's lifetime of 5 years.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Well, I mean, they've got a hit on their hands. I love the Wii U. It's one of my favorite systems. We still play it all the time.
Wii
U. I mean, we're going to play it tonight for game night. We still play Smash on it. Some of the games we don't do anymore. If we want to play Mario Kart, we play it on the Switch now. If we want to play Pokémon, we play it on the Switch now. And I guarantee if they brought Smash, they better bring Smash over to the Switch, we'll play it on that instead. Will. I mean, they've already enabled GameCube controllers, so why not? All right. So, Bethesda is definitely pushing. You can kind of see this back and forth of the two sides of the coin. EA being very kind of skittish about supporting the Switch, and then you got Bethesda who's putting everything in that they have towards it. And big surprise, guess which one's making more money right now? Yeah, Bethesda's probably in bank at the moment, which is great.
Well, not to mention, we'll talk about EA in a little bit and why they're in some hot water anyway.
Yeah. But one thing I have to give Bethesda credit for, their marketing department is on point with this. They, for years, how much have we heard, oh, Nintendo's doomed. They took that and just loved it, cared for it, and ran with it. They were like, yeah, Nintendo is doomed.
Nintendo, yes.
Yeah, they marketed that. They used Nintendo Doom, and they said Nintendo is doomed, and because they put Doom on it. I'm like, okay, you guys, that is marketing gold right there. People are going to see it and be like, yeah, oh, wait, that shooter's on there? Ooh, wait a minute. So my hats off to you guys. That's a hell of a marketing group right there.
Where's your hat?
Yeah,
I have a hat.
My Mario hat's over there.
Oh.
I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, where's Cappy?
Well, we'll tap Mario's hat. Yeah, I got pillows for my couch. It's a Mario, and I have a Yoshi. That's the same size. They were on sale for Black Friday, and I was like, I want pillows for the couch, but I don't want regular pillows. So I got Mario and Yoshi.
I have the Lich King. The Lich King tips his helmet. There you
go. Okay. All right, so moving on to the other Bethesda game that came out that has absorbed my life. We talked about it a little bit, but I want to go into detail a little bit more. Skyrim on the go. We have the.
It's dangerous.
You're not wrong. Because I have it, and I have already been yelled at by Brent. He'd be like, "Hey, get the hell off that Skyrim. Let's play something else." Every time I've popped on lately,
Skyrim. Just one or two more quests. I promise.
I've tried. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go through and clear out some of my backlog of quests. And I can't tell you, almost every time I'm like, I'm going to finish one quest and I have 5 more. And I'm like, it's growing. I can't stop it. And I'll be sitting there in bed, like trying ready for bed. I'm like, oh, I'll finish one more quest. And no. But the game is surprisingly well made for portable because you can save anywhere. Fast travel is a good option, or just exploring around when you just have a few minutes and you want to just explore. I can't tell you how many times I've been just doing that, and I'm like, oh, here's a cave, and that leads to a whole nother thing, or here's this or that, or here's a giant, it's going to slap you into the air, or
one time I went through.
Here's a guy on a horse flying by.
I went through a dwarvish settlement or whatever, and I found my way into Black Reach.
See, I haven't gotten to any of the dwarven stuff yet.
Only a couple of them lead to Black Reach, and Black Reach is like the hardest area. I will tell you it's the hardest area because anything in there will like just come out and kill you. Just like, no.
Well, right now I'm trying to get better spells. I'm basically doing one-handed and magic for this playthrough. And it worked quite well for the Switch version. I've been doing it. So I do a lot of like destruction magic, restoration, illusion, stuff like that. And then I usually use one-handed weapons that are enchanted for like capturing souls or ice and things. Though I had one weird glitch. I was in the middle of a fight and one of my weapons just disappeared. I've been using this mace that just absorbs someone's soul, and all of a sudden I don't have it, and I'm just swinging with my fist, and I'm going, where the hell did my weapon go? I never found it. I'm like, I like that weapon. But I just beat a boss, and I'm like, I don't want to reset it. That guy was a pain in the butt.
Yeah, that old Bethesda charm, they left all that in there. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
You think as long as the game has been out.
Well, you've seen a few of the short videos I put on Twitter, right? Like I thought it was a dragon, but no, it's a flying horse. And then
yeah, I know, I saw that. Yeah,
the Khajiit with the spring-loaded sword. As soon as he died, he goes limp, and this sword just flying out of it. I'm like, the hell? I have more to post though. I started messing with the shout where you can freeze people. We have gotten some great moments out of that. Apparently you can freeze a ghost, which is great. Yeah, I'm going to post those today. So the nice thing about this, it is all of Skyrim. It is not the original edition. It's not quite the enhanced edition. Like, it has almost all the textures. Draw distance isn't quite as good.
There are some assets from the enhanced editions.
Well, most of the assets are in there, like the water physics. Everything's in there. It's like a pared back version of the enhanced edition, but barely. Like, it still plays beautifully. We compared it. You know, my youngest son has been playing it on 360 on a TV in the same room, so we can look at the two versions, and we're like, okay, we can see a big difference. But I don't have it on PS4 or Xbox One. But I do have it on PC, so we compared it to that, and you can tell a difference as well. But all the DLCs included. I mean, they didn't skimp on this. They could have made us rebuy the DLC. But nope, all of it's there. Dragonborn, Hearthfire, and Dawnguard are all available, which I might actually start the Dawnguard mission today.
I'd say Hearthfire will probably keep you busy for a long time anyways.
What is Hearthfire? I haven't messed with that one yet.
There are 3 houses available in different areas of Skyrim. There's one that's
I bought the one in Winterfell.
Yeah,
I have that one.
There's one near, like, I don't want to call them the hot springs, but it's kind of like the area where it's like all hot springy, but there's nothing really that kind of thing. It's really weird.
I don't think I've gotten to that place yet.
It's like near the middle. So you have one up north, then you have one in the middle.
I'm kind of down to the southeast right now when I just went and killed an orphanage lady.
South. I know there's one like northwest.
I'm in Riften. That's where I'm at right now. I'm in Riften, which I think is southeast.
Oh yeah, there's one in the city. I think there's one. I don't quote me on it. I don't remember. It's been a while since I touched it. But
Riften's like the Mos Eisley of this place. Like, it is. Everyone is like, yeah, go kill that guy. Steal this for me, dude. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? It's the Thieves Guild, and that's how the city is.
Yeah. I think there's one in there, or it's in that bigger city up north of that, I believe.
Let's have to take a peek at it. The other thing they added to this version, like, you have options for motion controls, which aren't bad. They actually work surprisingly well. They're kind of fun to mess around with, but I tend not to use them because I try and play on the TV with the Pro Controller. But I have noticed one thing, like, have you, all right, HD Rumble is the thing that Nintendo put into the Switch. Some games use it in different ways. It's more of like an extra stuff, but Caleb, you've tried it in 1-2 Switch, right? Like with when you're moving the balls and stuff like that. And it's actually really impressive.
Oh yeah.
Skyrim actually has an even more impressive use for it. I didn't even realize it until, you know, the lock picking levels, right? It goes all the way up to master.
No way. Don't tell me. I
picked a lock with my eyes closed, just using how it felt with HD Rumble, and got a master lock in one try.
That's actually really cool.
I could feel the tumblers, and the one that was different, I could feel it in the Pro Controller, and I'm like, holy crap. I just sit there and I just I take it all the way to one side, and and then give it just a little bit of a nudge with the stick where it slowly moves up, and you hear this, you feel this little click, click, click. And there's one that goes clunk. It's a little bit different. And that was it. I unlocked it on a master lock the first time. And I was like, okay,
that's better than just sitting there and trying to see if, like, you know, your lockpick starts shaking or whatever. It's like,
right.
Nope, not that one.
Well, on a master lock, you don't get that shake. It just breaks. That's it. There is no shake. You have to feel it. And this was absolutely perfect. I haven't tried it with a Joy-Con yet, which, I mean, it's still got HD rumble, but I think something about having the Pro controller and just having it in both hands and using that stick to slowly move it. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but if you're picking a lock, especially a master lock, you're going to take your time. But hands down, now I'm like, I wish people could experience it. That is a very cool use for HD rumble, and no one's talking about it. I haven't heard anyone mention about it, and I've gone back. Like, the old rumble used to do something like it, but it was not that precise. It didn't feel like I was actually moving across these pieces. Seriously, people, get Skyrim also. So
whoever did that, good job.
Yeah, you have impressed and blown my mind.
It's like, I bet you nobody will experience the very precise lock picking thing I programmed. No one's going to experience it.
Well, I have. Ooh. Holy crap. Like, I'm wondering what else they could actually have that does that. It's great. All right, so the last thing is they added was amiibo support, which they support all amiibos. It's very much kind of like how Breath of the Wild was. You could scan an amiibo and it would drop a chest and you get random stuff out of it. It's actually tied to a power as a shout. So you have to enable it as a shout, and then wherever you shout at, you can pop up a amiibo. The Zelda amiibos will give you random stuff, but they have a chance for giving you like a hunter's bow, the blue tunic from Breath of the Wild, and the Master Sword, which I actually got all of those on my first try.
Nice.
Well, I've got every Zelda amiibo, and there's a lot of them. So, ironically, I think it was Ganon that gave me the Master Sword. I knew Ganon had it.
Here you go, Dragonborn. I am the evil. You may have this Master Sword. Take it away so that the hero of Hyrule can never use it against me again.
I'm a little annoyed, though. I found out that I guess it stays with the level when you get it. And since I got it, I'm only like level, I think 18. I got it at like 15. It's not that strong. So I'm already not using the Master Sword. I'm like, oh. But I did get a video.
I wonder if you can.
Where I just started. There's a video I saw online where some guy took the Master Sword and just like ran it through a guy's head and just started like stabbing him in the stomach. And I'm like, that's not how it's supposed to be. And I can just imagine the Wind Waker Link going, no, that's exactly what you do with it. You just right through the head. That little cel-shaded guy was straight up just stabbing people through the brain.
Let's say, can you get it again? Or is it like a one-time thing?
Once per game save. So I don't know, but I mean, I might be able to save it for another one. I mean, I'm going to play through this more than once. I mean, because it's portable, it's so easy just to hop into it and play. I can easily do more than one playthrough. So I think I'm going to go like straight up barbarian on my next one. No magic, just shields, swords, and beating the crap out of people. Even fist fighting. All right, so, we're going to go and move on to the lovely hotbed of a mess that EA has left us with, along with a few other. Let's just say it now. This is not at the feet of EA. This is a lot of companies doing it, but EA was sitting there at the bottom of this whole tinder pile.
EA was the straw that kind of the proverbial loot box that broke the gamer's back. We'll say that.
Yeah, and they charged you for it. So the government is finally going after EA and loot boxes as a form of gambling. Specifically here in the United States, Hawaii House of Representative member Chris Lee posted a video on the subject addressing, as he quotes, predatory practices at Electronic Arts and other companies. He referred to Star Wars Battlefront 2 as a Star Wars-themed online casino designed to lure kids into spending money. He continued by saying, "We didn't allow Joe Camel to encourage our kids to smoke cigarettes, and we shouldn't allow Star Wars to encourage our kids to gamble." Damn.
So I do have some things to say about this.
That's a harsh saying, but go ahead, Caleb.
Yeah. While Blizzard was not the first company, a lot of people will point at Overwatch as starting this whole loot box craze. They were not the first ones to do it.
I see a difference.
I can't exactly
for the gambling.
Yes, because no. It for Overwatch.
Go ahead, finish your thought. Sorry.
Yes, for Overwatch, it is all specifically cosmetic and therefore does not enhance your gameplay in any way besides looking cool.
Nope, that's it. I bought it on
EA
PC.
on the other hand decided that EA on the other hand decided though that they would put gameplay enhancing, basically when I say enhancing, like your character stats and your things like that. Basically, if you buy a loot box, you will automatically be better than person who is not buying as many loot boxes or what have you.
Well, part of it. All right, we're going to look at the ESRB statement on this. So the ESRB had a statement about loot boxes before where they don't consider them a form of gambling, and here's the reason why. ESRB does not consider loot boxes to be gambling. While there's an element of chance in these mechanics, the player is always guaranteed to receive in-game content, even if the player unfortunately receives something they don't want. We think of it as a similar principle to collectible card games. Sometimes you'll open a pack and get a brand new holographic card you've already had, you've had your eye on for a while, but other times you'll end up with a pack of cards you already have. And I get that. I collected cards as a kid. I know a lot of people still play Magic and a lot of those games. I believe you play Hearthstone.
Yep.
Which does packs as well that you can purchase.
Yep.
I get that, and to a point. That's kind of the fine line on this. If the government does define this as gambling, how does that affect these kind of games? Because people go in playing Magic, understanding how they're trying to collect and get those cards. That's part of the actual game itself. But then on the other side, you've got stuff for like EA with Battlefront, which, we'll talk about in a little bit. Battlefront temporarily removed the loot boxes from the game, or EA removed them from Battlefront because there was such a backlash. The difference between this and Overwatch, as you were saying earlier, Overwatch, like you said, is completely cosmetic. I put $10 in. I'm going to get a whole bunch of costumes and taunts or whatever. Nothing actually changes how my gameplay is. I have no advantage or difference between anybody who goes and buys the game right now and does nothing but play it. I may look different, and that's going to be it. And I think I've seen some people argue like, well, the different costumes might give you different advantage for blending into backgrounds and stuff like that. But from a purely mechanical, that's
a whole nother, that's a whole nother thing.
Right. I'm not saying that's the same one. I've heard that argument. But if I go and buy Battlefield right now, and you go buy Battlefront 2 right now as well, we both start playing at the same time, but I have more of an income that I can spend on ridiculous things. Cue the giant Mario pillow. Not saying anything bad, Caleb. Just I spend a lot of money. Let's just say it that way.
You call me poor.
I'm not calling you poor. I'm calling me irresponsible with my wallet. But so I go and I spend an extra $60 on top of that $60 to buy these boxes. Now, I have an advantage on you because yes, the contents are random, but there is a really good chance I'm going to get at least one card that lets me make way higher level stuff than I ever could before without earning up with it, as well as unlocking or purchasing characters that you haven't gotten yet. So now I've got advantages where if we're in a dogfight, you can't lock on your lasers onto me for like 10 seconds, or certain weapons may not work on me and things like that, where that is my advantage over you. I paid for it. I have that advantage. I'm going to kill you and you can't beat me. And some people are like, oh, well, it's skill-based. Yeah, there could be skill-based into that, but I'm asking more of your skill than mine because I have an advantage. Specifically, like, I keep bringing up the one of the targeting, where if you can't shoot me for such a long time, how is that fair? How does that work to the advantage when I can turn around, or a teammate can turn around and shoot you without any consequence at all because I could afford the extra stuff you couldn't? And EA is really getting themselves dug in a hole with this.
It's more, I think what really kind of made people upset was that EA charged $60 for this game, and then they expect you to buy loot boxes for real money. The thing is, though, most all right, where they're getting they used a mobile game kind of free to play model,
Yeah,
but they're charging you $60 for a game that every like $60 game you buy should be pretty much complete unless they add in like DLC later on, which most games do, but that's like a whole nother rant for another day.
Well, look at it like Skyrim. When Skyrim first came out, it was a $60 game, full and complete. They added more content, but those were full expansions. You know, there was no multiplayer, so there's nothing to give for that, but you had a full, massive, hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of hour game. Same thing with Breath of the Wild. Same thing with Mario Odyssey. Because I'm sorry, Mario Odyssey is going to get DLC. We all know it. But you had a full game, and then they came in and they added more content to it. So I guess they're kind of going back to the days of the expansion, where they're going, hey, we're going to use the same graphics and things like that so we can make another experience without making a whole new game, so we can get more content out faster. I think my favorite view of that was, I think, Grand Theft Auto 4, because they took the city they made 2 entire full games using that same city without, taking a lot less time, that had all new characters, new stories and everything, but they took place in the same place. They were smart about that. And a lot of these games, I think Breath of the Wild is going to do the same thing. Skyrim did the same thing. Mario's probably going to do the same thing. But with this,
1,000 more moons for you to get.
God, there's already 1,000 now as it is. I don't know. EA, I think this is their greed finally coming back to bite them. Disney is not happy about this.
Nope.
If you go and search for Star Wars right now, governments looking into Star Wars being a member thing for gambling for children come up over the movie that releases next month. That's not good. That's not good at all. Disney's like, this is our family-friendly movie, and now we're being tied to possibly peddling gambling to children.
It's I mean, this kind of earlier this year or last year, what was it? It was the CS:GO Lotto thing.
Yep. Counter-Strike Go lottery. That was being
loot boxes, and loot boxes are now seeping into games which don't have any business. Take it. I don't know if you could see, but I'm wearing my Shadow of War.
Nice.
This is wearing my Shadow of War because literally loot boxes were like a last second thing. If you look at it, I'm like, this system is terrible.
See, I haven't even played it yet because I didn't want to deal with some of that stuff when they did it. I don't know.
It doesn't belong there. I'll just tell you that now. There's really honestly no reason for it. It doesn't add anything.
Let's look at it this way. There's 2 games right now you can buy that are shooters that have a single player and a multiplayer mode that are both $60. Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Splatoon 2. All right. One's on the Switch, one's not. That's, whatever. But Splatoon 2, we're getting way more. We're getting a whole new expansion thing that came out. All the maps have been free. Weapon expansions. There's no loot boxes that they rely on whatsoever. Not even cosmetic. You buy Splatoon 2, you have Splatoon 2. They did the same thing with Splatoon 1. The market is viable for that. They made money off of both. They're making a buttload of money off of 2 just because of the sales of the game itself. Now, if you make a game and you have the exclusive Star Wars license, Star Wars, one of the biggest science fiction franchises in our life, period.
It's one of the biggest franchises.
Yeah. Not even just science fiction, just period. Science fiction, fantasy, movies, games, TV shows, comic books, whatever. And you sell it for $60 and you can't make money without nickel and diming people constantly. You're a crappy developer. You have a bad design, not a, money issue. I would rather a company go, hey, we need to charge $80 for this game off the bat because this is what our development cost was. to break even and sell well and have it right there, then go, okay, we're going to give you this $60 game, and then we're going to try and constantly nickel and dime you for the rest of your life as we break this game apart. I mean, that's going to kind of go back and forth where, well, people can afford the cheaper one, but they can't afford the more expensive version. But same goes to the fact that they can afford the cheaper one, but they can't keep up with people that pay that extra little bit to get the advantage. You know, it's still separating out the market.
That's another thing, though, when games make different like editions and things like that, like, oh, the gold edition or the silver edition, blah blah blah. Like, that's just such a turn off. Like,
Call of Duty did that, and that was one of the ones that got me to stop playing the games. I used to have fun with Call of Duty. Like, they were entertaining, but as soon as they were like, all right, cool, you have to get this edition to get this whole part of the game or these maps day one, and you can't play with the other people unless you got it. I'm like, why? You're literally separating out the haves and have-nots over a stupid collector's edition, you know? Like, I want to play with my friend, but he had a little bit more money. He got the collector's edition. He wants to play this new exclusive map. It's the first day the game came out, and I'm already going, well, I don't have that. I can't do it. I paid you the money. Why can't I play it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the game industry is not exactly in the best place right now for that sort of thing. I think once people finally get fed up with it,
I think, like I said, loot boxes, I understand how they work. I understand that they can be an extended revenue for companies if they are handled respectfully. EA is getting greedy. I mean, that's all it is, straight up. Overwatch has it. I've spent a little bit of money on it. I've had fun with it, messing around with it. But it's not a requirement. I don't feel pressured into doing it. It's not bugging me constantly. Forza 7 has a loot box system in it that I got some extra stuff because I had the collector's edition, but it wasn't like going to break it, for playing against anybody else. I can earn credits a little bit faster, but that was because I've gotten because I played every game in the series. It's a reward for playing that. It kind of ties in with it. But the actual game itself, if I don't buy another loot box ever, I'm not going to be missing parts of the game. I'm not missing some cars, stuff like that. You still get them on roulettes. They're on the boundary of being a little pushy on that, but it's still not as bad. They need to tone it back or not go any further, or else they will be walking into EA territory, I think. But there's so many examples of games that don't do this and still succeed, or have, or do loot boxes and do them respectfully, I think. That could be better. And the argument is a slippery slope. You got to be careful because this could have an effect. Say they come down and say loot boxes are illegal and kids can't play it. Well, how many kids play Hearthstone? How many kids would have to stop playing Hearthstone if it's considered a mature rated title because instantly it has gambling, or if it's not even allowed because of the card packs?
I'll say, yeah. I mean, card packs in general would be.
Yeah. Does that flip over into the real world? Yeah, that would flip over into the real cards of Magic and Pokemon and all these other ones where you're buying packs and you're buying expansions. Part of that is the chance. And it is a very fine line. They can be greedy or they can be fair. But I think the cards have to give percentages of what your chances are to get the cards are.
I think that would be a lot better if games did tell you the percentage of what you're likely to get. Like, oh, you can get a legendary skin for like maybe 5% or something like that. I don't know what the real percentage is, but I think that would, because that's what China had to do recently with their loot boxes and stuff like that.
Yep.
They said, nope, you have to put in what percentage, each person can get or whatever.
Yeah. So I
think that would help a lot.
I think EA is bringing more problems to the gaming industry than they needed. I don't want to see government regulation on this, but I understand that they are crossing a line. Kids are playing this and going, well, I need to get this money to do this. And as we've seen multiple times with like cell phone games, kids are going to start taking credit cards and trying to buy this stuff to try and get that advantage to get in there and play it. And I hate the fact there's some kids that's all they've known is loot boxes. They think that's a normal part of gaming, and it has nothing to do with it until the last few years, which is terrifying. So I don't know. All right. So we've mentioned before earlier that EA temporarily removed loot boxes from Star Wars Battlefront 2. This removes the ability to purchase crystals, which are purchased with real money to buy randomized items or randomized bundles of in-game items, which having them is tied to getting more credits. So you buy these crystals to get more credits, to get more stuff, which that's in turn how you unlock characters and other features. So the fans kind of revolted and gave EA a black eye on this one and just were really pissed about it. Right up until just hours before the game's release, they had to pull the entire feature from the game. But they've been very clear that it's temporary, that they will put it back. But with the recent government rulings and scrutiny, they may just have to leave it out and have to live with the money they make. Because I'm starting to wonder if this is if EA wants to put it back in, if Disney's not going to step in and go, no, don't ever do this again. This is it. Because I'm sure Disney's taken a big cut of this stuff.
Oh yeah,
I mean it's the license, they kind of have to. I don't know. EA just, what is wrong with you guys?
Good job.
All right. Let's see.
But all that might not even matter if what the next subtopic is. Might just all come to just.
Yep. So once again, I swear I feel like I'm repeating myself with this.
We are.
We are. Yeah. Net neutrality is once again in danger, and people for some stupid reason don't understand why that's an issue. So I have a lovely little list of things to show you why net neutrality is a problem. I've went through and verified all of these. These were actual accounts of things that happened. This is just a short list. There are many more. Like we found other ones that I'm going to have to add in that we didn't even cover before. So basically what net neutrality is a bit is a bit is a bit. If I send a bit, be it a picture, a video, command line code, anything, video game data, whatever, it's going to be transferred from my point to its point of call exactly the same as anyone watching Netflix or streaming Comcast or doing anything. They're all treated the exact same. There's a complete neutrality on how that data is. It's all shared the same. Think of it like a giant highway going down the road with thousands of lanes. Every lane is treated exactly the same for how cars go through it. This makes a level playing field where big companies can be challenged by much smaller groups, where you can have, a few people doing a streaming service compete with YouTube or Hulu, and these things going through. Or like, we had Netflix. Now Disney's going to be making their own. Hulu came to be a competitor. Crunchyroll, all these other companies that were smaller that came to compete with them. They're challengers. They're all being treated fairly. If I decide to use both those services, they both should run just fine. Removing net neutrality gets rid of that. An illustration I saw earlier today was really good for it. Showed this giant highway with all these lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, there's a sign saying net neutrality ends here. And the next one, it shows paid goes this way. And it's just one giant super lane. And everyone else is being crammed into this traffic jam of these like 4 little tiny lanes that didn't pay. And it was showing all the big companies that can afford to pay that fee going through just fine. And all these smaller companies and other people trying to do it just getting stuck. They couldn't make it. There's not enough bandwidth that they're given. Net neutrality is important for a lot of reasons. So let's go down here and look. Excuse me. 2005, Madison River Communications was blocking voice over IP access of the services. The FCC had to put a stop to it. They're basically saying, we don't like people being able to use this voice over IP, which guess what? We're using a version of it right now to do this show.
Scandalous.
I know. And people have used Skype and FaceTime and all these other things to talk to family and friends all around the world. Companies did not like that because it competed with their long distance charges, international calls, all that stuff. They wanted it stopped. FCC went, no, this is fair use of data. This is the app they're using. This is how it works. They pay for the access. That's how they're using it. It's competition. Once again, in 2005, Comcast was denying access to peer-to-peer services without notifying customers. Their argument was, oh, well, if you're using peer-to-peer, you're only using it to steal things. Well, that's not remotely the case. That's like saying we're going to block all traffic because you're just going to use cars to do robberies or hit people. No, you're driving and using it very fairly. I use peer-to-peer services for the show, for transferring large files for people, for storing my online photography, that I do, and getting that out to people that need to access it, because just sending it over an email is not an option. When you're sending 15 megabytes per shot, you're not sending that over email. One picture is usually too big. So they were just blocking people from using it and didn't even bother telling them. People were just like, this doesn't work. And they couldn't figure out why until they realized that. And they had to stop it. 2007 to 2009, AT&T was having Skype and other voice IPs blocked because they didn't like there was competition for their cell phones. So that was, once again, they were like, hey, these people are coming in and competing with our service. They're giving other options. We don't like that. We're going to shut them down. And once again, for net neutrality by the FCC, they were ruled, no, you can't block that. You can't do these things because that's how people are using their service. You can't just block competition whenever you feel like it. 2011, Metro PCS tried to block all streaming except YouTube. So they had picked that YouTube was okay. Everything else was not. So if you tried to stream any other video service other than YouTube, it just wasn't working. And we don't even know why they made the choice that YouTube was okay. But what's going to stop them from later on going, well, YouTube doesn't run really well. Wonder why. But hey, we have this new service that we support it's like YouTube and it runs beautifully. Wonder why. And then they had the audacity to actually sue the FCC over this, saying, hey, you can't do that to us. And we're going, yeah, we can. It's net neutrality. You have to treat all of it fairly. 2011 to 2013. This was a fun one. AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon were blocking access to Google Wallet, which a lot of people use now, because it competed with their own services. You remember that when each one of them had their little pay services with their phones? Yeah, I do. They tried to force it on me. It was crap. It wasn't as good a service as Google Wallet was. Which now there's also competition with, Apple Pay. No one's blocking that one. It's a fair competition to Google Wallet. It should be allowed to be there, and it has made them both up their game. Ironically, this was a few months after the same three companies were busted collaborating with Google to block apps from the Android marketplace. Now, 2012, Verizon was demanding Google block tethering apps on Android because it let owners avoid their $20 tethering fee. This was despite guaranteeing they would not do that as a part of winning a bid on an airwaves auction. So they got exclusive right to a band part of the wireless spectrum for their company under the agreement that they would not block these tethering apps or other functions, and then immediately turned around and did it anyways. They were fined $1.25 million over this. Now, pay attention to the fact you're hearing Verizon in this a lot, because they are actually supporting the removal of net neutrality. Big part of this is because the guy that is pushing towards this, FCC chairman and ex-Verizon lawyer, surprise, surprise, Ajit Pai, has proposed scrapping net neutrality rules and allowing ISPs to charge customers and companies varying amounts and provide varying speeds depending on the content being accessed online. Verizon's all for this because they get to pick and choose what you can and cannot do. So you remember back in the day, way when cell phones first came out, and you would get your service and you'd pay so much for this bit of data, and you'd pay so much to allow to do text messaging, or you'd pay so much to do voicemail or GPS or all this stuff. I used to work for Nextel. This is the crap they used to pull way back in the day. And that's exactly what they want to do with all of the internet. All of it.
I mean, yeah, if net neutrality goes away, they're just going to nickel and dime you. Like, not only do you have to deal with cable companies, you're also going to have to deal with all companies, and they're nickel and diming as well.
Right.
It's just...
Well, let's continue with a little lovely train of examples of actual times these people have tried to do exactly what they promise. Oh, we won't do that. If we don't get net neutrality, we won't do any of this. Well, then why are you pushing against net neutrality so much? What's the point?
I saw on Twitter there was one company's like, "Oh, if we won't do it." It's like, you lie.
Verizon said that. Comcast said that, and we all know that's bull crap.
Yeah.
All right, 2012. We're getting even closer in our. We're still pretty close. Just a few years ago, AT&T tried to block access to FaceTime unless customers paid more money. So a phone comes out with a new feature to use the exact same data that you had, but they want to charge for it extra because it's not what they want. 2013, Verizon literally stated that the only thing stopping them from favoring some content providers over other providers were the net neutrality rules in place. I mean, right now they're kind of pushing it like, hey, come to T-Mobile and we'll give you a Netflix for free. You know, we'll pay for it. So we'll allow that, you know, we'll say Netflix won't count against your data cap. So anything else that's not Netflix, say if you're on T-Mobile and you want to watch Hulu, it's going to cost you more money because you got to pay for more data, or watch out, you're going to run out of it. But if you use Netflix, our partner, yeah, it's okay. We're not going to count it against it. Same thing with YouTube. You know, say you want to watch something on anything else other than YouTube, well, we're going to charge you for it. One that I mentioned earlier, Caleb, that you remembered, which was actually just in 2014, when Comcast got in a whole bunch of trouble because they were having an argument with Netflix saying, hey, you should pay us more to actually allow your content to go through. And when Netflix said, no, we're not going to pay you more for this because it's a normal service, they slowed them down on the service. Everyone's Netflix experience got crappy. And everyone got all mad at Netflix. And they pointed out, well, yeah, this is Comcast slowing it down because they're holding it ransom, that we're not paying them more to grant that access. Another good example said, imagine if every road in the United States, every road became a toll road. And only the people that could afford it could drive freely, but people that couldn't afford to pay all this extra fees would be stuck, not be able to drive on their own road. They'd be slow and walking everywhere if they could even be allowed to walk there, while others are just freely driving from point to point. That is what net neutrality prevents. People that can't afford that can do these things.
I heard another example was like, if a water company only say that you can use this much water at certain points in the day. Same thing happening here.
Yeah, and well, it's like, not even so much that you can use so much during the day. Like there's some places that have to limit water, but say they're saying, well, you can use water, but you can't run your dishwasher unless you pay this fee. You can't take a shower unless you pay this fee. Oh, you're brushing your teeth? Yeah, it's going to be this fee. You need to use the toilet? Oh, that's a special. If you use our company, you can use the toilet if the toilet's from a company we like. But if your toilet's from a company we don't like, oh, sorry, it's going to flush slowly and it's going to smell.
It's going to flush slowly.
If it even flushes at all. Here's another thought. As a parent, if you've got two families, one that has plenty of money and one that is poorer, they're both in the same school and they're trying to do the same report. Well, one family can afford access to YouTube now that their company has given that extra, so they get the extra videos and content they need to do this report, while the other ones are limited to very basic, data or text only sites, and they can't watch stuff on YouTube. They can't access these educational portals that they need. You're limiting people's access to that, or people that, they do homeschool for stuff, or they do online college. If they're doing any of that, if they don't pay the extra fee, for that, they can't go to college for those parts if they can't get there. Net neutrality is one of the biggest things that will affect all of us, every one of us, regardless of age, sex, race, location, all of it. All of it is affected by net neutrality. And just my ability to actually put these words out and say it could be affected or just straight up blocked by net neutrality going away. I'm doing this because this is something I enjoy doing, but net neutrality allows me to do this. I'm using my internet provider and the service I pay for to stream my camera, to stream my audio, to stream this out to people. Yeah, we have fun and we goof around, but it is a serious thing for a lot of people. It drives me mad. It pisses me off.
When I heard that they were doing this again, it's like, I feel so angry right now.
And you should. Everyone should be angry about this. This affects
we
everyone.
just went over this earlier this year. Why? And literally half of the the bill they wanted to pay. They literally cut the bill in half, and half of it actually went through, which is like when nobody was looking, which is like, they're just doing this on purpose and it's so annoying. Why? I want to punch Ajay in the face.
Yeah, I mean,
so evil. It's like an evil genius.
I mean, how would you like this?
Stupid.
Like, say, all right, so a lot of people watching this are gamers. I mean, you want to find a reason that it'll bug you. Say you're an Xbox gamer. You love playing your Xbox. You're like me. I prefer playing my Xbox online. But Comcast signs an exclusive deal with Sony. Wouldn't be the first time Sony's tried stuff like this, where their PlayStation network will go through on Comcast, but Xbox Live is going to be slowed down unless I pay an extra fee. So that's no longer competition between the makers of the Xbox and the PlayStation. If their games are going to be better, if their online services are going to be better, it's no, this company made a deal. Now I have to pay more if I even want to be able to use what I already have.
It is a form of limiting choice, and it's like a form of censorship at that point.
Yeah.
So,
and that's kind of what it is. Same difference with, you know, hey, we don't want Netflix, which, oh, they've already tried that and they've already blocked it and they've already slowed it down because Netflix was running horribly. But by God, all the streaming stuff on Comcast was running butter smooth because they chose to do it. They were blocking competition. They were ignoring the law of net neutrality. And we had to pay the difference. They expected, because think about it. People are like, oh, well, just Netflix should pay for that. Like, but why? They are paying for their connection as they normally do. We're paying for our connection to bridge that gap. If Netflix get paid more or gets charged a bunch, they're going to have to get that money back somehow, and that's going to end up coming back to consumers. We're going to end up paying that extra bit. So places like Comcast are just making money off of us willy-nilly, regardless of what damage they do. You know, am I going to have to pay extra? Is this going to have to be an audio-only podcast because I couldn't afford however much extra it is to do the video streaming? Or do we have to just do sign language because I don't have an audio package with my video? We're going to be taking dry erase boards and writing up signs to try and get the point across. I mean, people want to think of this as a frivolous thing. Yes, there are frivolous things that it affects, but there are also major things that it affects that change how people can access things. You know, the same internet that lets us do video games lets people communicate with families across the world during times of crisis. You know, it's the same internet that lets people, like I said earlier, go to college from home that need it, or do school from home, or access things that they need or services, that lets the elderly keep in touch with their families. They can't afford to just nickel and dime what they're going to do. Like FaceTime, they tried to block that. I know of a lot of elderly families that they get their family an iPad because they can video talk with their family. They can see their grandchildren. They can see their children, their families, their friends, and talk to them, and how much that helps even when they're by themselves living alone. Without net neutrality, they're going to get nickel and dime for that. Do they have the package to do it? Do they? I mean, I've had to deal with the elderly when I worked over at Nextel of how confusing it could be. Well, this package allows this. Oh, you want that? You got to upgrade to this package, or you got to change to that package. That's not going to help anybody. It was the stupidest thing then. It's the even worse thing now. So yeah, this whole topic pisses me off.
It's just ridiculous. For those who actually want to voice their opinion and whatnot, I believe there's a website called battleforthenet.com.
Yes.
Where you can get in contact with your congressman. I believe so, right? Your the person who voices the stuff, congressmen and women out there. That's battleforthenet.com, just in case you didn't hear it the first time.
Yeah, battleforthenet.com. That is definitely an important one to go into. So, I don't know. This is also going to affect, if net neutrality goes away, how mobile works as well. We're already having trouble a little bit with that. But, you know, you're playing games and doing stuff on these, all of those services can go away as well. You like using, Google Maps or whatever for driving. Well, they could go back to having their own company-specific GPS programs because Google Maps might be blocked or Apple Maps could be blocked unless you're on this company or that company. There is no good in this other than people being greedy.
Yeah, the thing is, though, a lot of these companies, there's not really much, for cable companies specifically, there's not really much competition. I believe there was a map showing like what the dominant cable provider in that area is.
I believe the term for this would be like an oligopoly. It's not a monopoly. They can get away with that. There's more than one, but there's usually just two. Maybe if you're lucky, three. And they've already been shown to collude on how their prices work and their deals. And you're going to get screwed. They're going to charge you out the wazoo. And it's surprising to see how hard they fight against, like when Google was putting fiber into different places, how hard they fought for that. Or for cities that were going to have a free, open, it wouldn't be as fast, but a municipal internet service, which people in lower income families, elderly people that can't afford or access some of these more expensive ones in the area would have a limited access. Think of it like, library access. Mm-hmm. The internet is as important, if not more important than even a library nowadays for that free access and open access.
And a lot of libraries do that. They have free internet there. Usually.
Net neutrality, they could block the libraries. I mean, seriously. They could just be like, well, we don't want the libraries, or they could slow it down even more. Because if you want the library access, here's the fee you got to pay for that.
That would be the absolute scummiest thing in the world.
That would not even be anywhere near the scummiest thing that they've done so far.
Like all these kids who have to get their homework done. I remember having to do that. Like growing up, I didn't really have
I had to do that in college. Where I was having to do...
I had to go to the public library, try to do my homework there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can remember that. So, yeah, Battle for the Net. What was it, battleforthenet.com? Yeah, battleforthenet.com. Go there, sign, talk.
Yeah.
Call your representatives. Bug the living crap out of them. Bug them until they listen. I'm sure they've got a lot of calls. Yeah, let them. I mean, we don't ease up on this. This is a fight we can't lose. We have to fight this. So let's move on to a happier subject. I'm actually looking at our chat, and Kevin Demo was asking a completely separate topic, but what's your thoughts on the state of VR? Think it's going to be bigger or die out? Any games you've been keen to play in VR? Caleb, do you have much experience with VR?
I have recently, if you've watched my YouTube channel, I played a bunch of really scary games in VR.
I need to
scary games are not my thing, I'll tell you that.
I need to stream my Resident Evil 7 on my PlayStation VR because holy crap, that is the way to play that game.
But it was very cool. It was very impressive the way things kind of worked out and everything like that. Especially when I was playing the Star Wars Battlefront 2 demo, flying demo, whatever.
Nice.
That was actually really cool. I did get a little sick because I wasn't quite used to it. And it's like, going up and down, like,
Yeah, it does take some getting used to. It's kind of tricky. But I think VR is going to grow. I don't think it's going to go away. It has a lot of advantages for how it's been now. Like, say you're living in a college dorm and you have a PlayStation 4. Well, you may not have room for a giant TV, but you got room to sit down and use a PlayStation VR. And you can play VR and non-VR games very well on the PlayStation VR. So that's a good option. I've actually watched 3D movies using my VR. Doctor Strange in 3D was great on that thing. It's actually led to me buying a couple more 3D movies. Sony is putting a lot behind it. They've actually brought out more games than I thankfully anticipated that they would. The Oculus and the Vive are doing really good on PC, supporting a lot of different games on there. Though we are seeing kind of an annoying separation of who gets what for headsets. Mm-hmm. Like Oculus is not going to get Fallout 4 VR. It's not getting, a lot of that kind of content because Bethesda's over with the Vive, whatever it's called.
The Vive.
Well, because they have issues with Oculus, which I understand. But the Vive is a way more expensive option. It's like $700, I think. But the prices will come down. You've got more options for like mobile. using VR for a little bit more gimmicky stuff, but there are some cool functions for it. So I don't see it going away. I think it'll just improve. Microsoft's all but said that the Xbox One X will have VR support, probably with Oculus, since they already have the deal where Oculus gets an Xbox One controller with each one of their headsets. So I could see that coming at a later date. They just haven't announced it yet because they're just trying to focus on, hey, this is our 4K gaming machine. This is what we're doing. There's, of course, there was all the rumors about the patent for the Switch using a form of VR by dropping into a headset and doing stuff, which, if that would work, would be a lower cost and entry-level version to do basically like an enhanced version of the cell phone stuff, I think. Because you'd have the screen at your whatever set distance from your head. The Joy-Cons are already your motion controls for interacting and doing things with triggers, shoulder buttons, sticks, and all that. I think that could be useful, but I kind of wonder if that would be like a Switch 2 type thing. Maybe in like 2 or 3 years, you might see an upgrade version, kind of like how, the DS became the DS Lite, or the 3DS became the, the XL and stuff like that, where they refined it. It became more powerful. I guess for the 3DS, it'd be a better option for like the new 3DS stuff. What do you think, Caleb?
I mean, I pretty much agree with everything you said. I mean, I haven't had too much experience, and I'm actually kind of wondering where VR is going to go in terms of gaming and movies and things like that. I'm sure they'll have something more in the movie space. For gaming, I guess once the technology gets a little bit cheaper, then maybe you can we'll kind of see more like, now we'll have Elder Scrolls 6 and PS4 and VR and blah blah. I wonder how it's gonna, because right now VR, all it's doing is everything's kind of being ported over to VR. So kind of wondering when it's gonna catch up with, like, we'll have like a VR version with this, or now available in VR.
Well,
that kind of thing, like
Resident Evil 6,
like when the Blu-ray disc came out.
Yeah.
It'll be kind of like now on DVD and Blu-ray. So it'll be like now on blah, blah, blah and VR. Or if one day it's just going to close the gap and everything's going to be in VR.
There's more games that are starting to do that. Like I said, Resident Evil 7 is the biggest one that I've seen recently.
Yeah.
It's the first game I've exclusively played the option as just VR. I have not played it, I think, almost at all on a regular TV, because that experience, while it's perfectly playable on a regular TV, was really catered around that first-person VR experience. And holy crap, that game is terrifying. Having your hand cut off right in front of you is kind of
have you watched?
It's like,
have you watched like the little first? I made like 4 different videos on it. Have you watched any of those?
Not yet. I need to.
You should.
Yeah. Well, what was the Silent Hill demo that was on PlayStation 4 a while back? They got taken down when they canceled it. I forgot the name of it. You can't get the game anymore, but I have it on. No, not
Biohazard. It was PR. Yeah, it was supposed to be. Darn, you're right. I can't remember. No, it was Silent Hill.
It was supposed to be Silent Hill, but it was called something else. I just completely blanked on it. PT, playable trailer. Yes, I actually recorded a whole playthrough with that with a guy I used to be friends with. We played through, I think it was like two videos, but that in VR would have been absolutely terrifying. I'm looking forward to a couple different games coming out. I want to see better shooters on the VR, especially for like PlayStation. They have the Doom VFR, but that's more of a cheaper downscaled version because you don't have free movement. Some people can't handle the motion sickness, which you have to get.
Well, that's why they put in the teleporter.
Yeah, you have to teleport around, which really it breaks the way Doom plays, which is why they have to change how Doom plays in that game. I want to try it out, but that's still a lot to do. Now, the other one is the Skyrim VR, which I was debating on getting, but I'm thinking it's digital only as well, which I'd rather get a physical copy. But they were showing it off while you're moving, but the actual game you can only teleport right now. They have to do an update to allow for movement later on, which kind of puts me off. I don't want to play Skyrim where I'm just like, I want to go there, teleport. I want to go there, teleport. You know, if I'm in the middle of a fight, I need to be able to move and back up and reposition myself for different spells and things, not just, oh crap, I need to turn around. I got to teleport here. Oh, I got to teleport over there. You're just going to be bouncing around.
Dragonborn, he's teleporting all over the place.
Yeah, you imagine
Even in town.
When you're fighting a group of people in a small hallway trying to teleport around and do that, you're dead. You're gonna die.
I feel like it would be better if there was maybe like a lore reason for that. Maybe if because I know in Doom they kind of like built it into the game.
Like Enterprise, and you found a transporter and just went to town with it.
No, like in Skyrim, I don't know. I guess you all of a sudden you get like wraith powers or something like that, or I don't know. So you know what I mean?
Once again, though,
it'd be kind of like cool every time you like would teleport. It'd just be like a poof, like like Moira. Like Moira came out in Overwatch. You know how she like teleports, air quotes.
Oh, Overwatch would be interesting in VR. You imagine flying around a Sphera trying to shoot and do stuff.
It would be many colors.
Like, this is great.
if everybody used their ultimates at once.
Oh God, people would be getting sick everywhere. Okay, cool. So Kevin's saying that Skyrim VR is available hard copy. I'll have to find that. Thank you. Can use control controls with the DualShock 4, which a lot of the games did support that, which is nice. So, have you played it? Like it actually lets you do the motion. I'm sorry, not the like you can actually walk. Did they finally come back on that? Because that was the only thing holding me back on trying it out. Is I don't want to teleport everywhere. I just want to be able to walk, which I don't know. Could have been great. I'm not sure how much of the delay is. We'll have to see. We're listening, Kevin. We're listening.
Kevin. We're here. Don't leave.
You are one viewer, please. Yep, teleportation free. All right, I'm going to try that out. Thank you, Kev. All right. So, Caleb, you got any other topics for today? I know we've been here doing this for a little bit.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Net neutrality, good.
It's all right. Net neutrality. Please keep it.
Yeah,
it's so good.
We want to keep doing this show. We want to be able to stream our games on Twitch because that's another one they could get rid of if they want to have. Because imagine that's another one. If you stream on Twitch, because a lot of people don't like using YouTube streaming. Imagine if you had to. Comcast made a deal and like only you. Yeah, but it's not the one you prefer.
Actually, I for some reason I actually do better streaming on YouTube. Like there's no stutter, whereas on Twitch they throttled the lower people.
Net neutrality people.
Well, it's because Twitch only has so much bandwidth, which is understandable, and you have like thousands of people trying to stream at once. Where YouTube, all they have is people uploading, and then maybe not as many streamers. So it's actually a lot easier for us to stream on YouTube than it would be on Twitch. It's weird.
Gotcha.
So like you kind of have to bring a following to Twitch in order to bump up your numbers. That way, like Twitch is like, oh, you actually have people watching. We'll open your bandwidth.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Otherwise, you can only stream in like 480p.
Well, we're gonna try. And
thank you, Twitch.
I was streaming in 720. It was going pretty well. I was actually messing around with Skyrim the other day on the Switch. We're going to try and stream tonight. We're going to set it up for a game night so you can see some of us playing some of these stupid games. I don't know. We got to find out what people want to see.
I'm here.
Well, actually, here's a question for you, Kevin. I know you probably don't watch a stream. I think you just started following us, which I appreciate it, by the way. But what kind of games do you like to see people play? Mind you, I've got a collection of games ranging from like the Atari 2600 all the way up to now, you know, thousands of games of different types. So the options are there, but what kind of stuff do people want to see? I'm kind of curious about your input on that one. Hopefully you're still here.
Yeah, he's still here.
Yay.
I can see.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up.
It has every
It's funny. It's funny watching myself on delay while I'm muted. I'm just.
No, I literally asked Jeremy, like, hey, Jeremy, do you have, like, Power Stone? I heard that was good. And Jeremy's like, yeah, I got, like, all of them. Like, Yeah, Power
Stone was great. Hey, I hooked it up. You wanted to play it, and I had it ready to go. That was really funny. I'm probably going to stream. I know I want to stream. I got the Batman Telltale series. I went out for Black Friday just for the heck of it, and they had it on sale for $20. And it's the entire first season. So I'm going to try and stream this because I started to play it and I'm like, nah, this could be interesting. This could be oddly entertaining.
Kevin seems to like retro stuff, although he doesn't really watch streaming. Neither do I, but it's every now and then it's good. It's good to watch.
Well, see, the nice thing is I'm probably going to go back and stream some of the stuff from the NES Classic and SNES Classic just because they're easier. It's already HDMI.
I'm waiting for the N64 Classic.
Oh, God, I want one. I've already made a list of what would be on it too, or what should be.
If Jeremy, if they come out and if they
4
sell
controllers
out
and Smash Brothers.
if it comes out and they sell out day one, like within the hour, can you get me one, please?
Sure.
Because I'm like, Jeremy, I don't have the money right now.
Yeah, Kevin, I agree about the streams. Much traffic overall, for casual play over speedrunning. I'm not looking to make money or anything with it. I just do it for fun. I just like to have a conversation and talk to people while I'm playing the game or just doing stupid stuff just to enjoy it. I'm going to be streaming more games.
Stream and upload videos as well, but I don't really get a lot of traffic to my stuff, but I just do it because I enjoy it. I mean, I get a few people and they like it, so.
You do a little bit more than mine now. I just bought this recently so I could stream. It's like $100, but it's so well made. It's an HDMI adapter for the GameCube. Just plugs right in and lets me output an actual digital stream out of the port so I can go straight to my Elgato and things like that. But it cleans it up really well. Like, it's impressive how good it looks. So I'll probably go back and I'm going to play through like my Star Wars Rogue Leader games, mess around with some Soul Calibur 2. I've got, a bunch of Resident Evils on there that I like to play around with. Of course, Beautiful Joe, things like that. So, oh my God, Final Fantasy 1 all white mage playthrough, you monster. I don't think you can actually beat the game with that. But I'm down to try it. Yeah, just heal each other. It's the game that never ends until someone runs out of magic. I'm going to have to try that.
Whoever runs out of magic first gets to hit the monster with the stick.
That'd be great. Another one I've been playing that's kind of an odd one I would like to stream is Billy Hatcher on the GameCube. Oh crap, it's been done? Seriously? People have beat the game with an all-white mage playthrough. Wow.
I mean, I don't doubt it. It might take you 999 hours, but...
I'm trying to remember, I was listening to an episode of Retronauts. Great show, by the way, people. Retronauts is fantastic. You should listen to him. Jeremy Parrish and them were talking about Final Fantasy series, the original one. And I guess there is a set of people you can get that the game is unbeatable. Like, if you pick that group, you cannot finish the game. So I guess it wasn't the all-white mages. It was one of the other ones, but it was just kind of funny about that. All right. We've been going for a while now. I think we're going to close out the show. Caleb, you want to go and let us know where we can find you?
You can find me if you look on YouTube, Strangely Entertaining, or if you just type in the Nerd Edification Hour, that's still in there somewhere. First thing that pops up. Are you still doing
that, or is that going away, or is that...
No, Tom keeps bugging me about it. He's like, that was like the best show ever. I'm like, thank you, Tom.
Which was nice, but
everybody's doing their own thing now. Yeah, everybody's doing their own thing. So, or you can go to Twitter and just look up at Nerd Edification Hour. I need to change the @ thing since we're not really doing that anymore.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I might do that today. Maybe we'll see. We'll see if I'm. Or right now I'm playing through Gravity Rush 2. I'm playing through a lot of stuff. Ori and the Blind Forest.
I still need to play Gravity Rush.
It's good, fun time. The remastered version's on PS4, and then Gravity Rush 2 is also on PS4. So.
Oh, okay. I know I've lost my Vita TV mostly because Jeremy's been playing Persona 4 Golden, and he has been just obsessed with it. He likes it.
And then I've been also playing through A Hat in Time. It's cute. Have you played A Hat in Time yet, Jeremy?
Not yet. I know of it. But...
Do it.
Well, I still got to play through It'll Do. I've got enough Zelda clones right now.
cute. It's so cute.
I will try it out.
I will tell you this. It is top contender for. It is a top contender for #1 game of 2017.
What?
For me? Yes. Is
over Mario, over Zelda, over anything.
I was that impressed with it.
Yeah, I have enough to play on the Switch right now.
I don't think it's on the Switch.
I can barely hold
it's on.
It's on the Switch.
I think it's on PC and PS4. Is it on Switch?
It's coming out for it.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be.
I'm still waiting for Hollow Knight to come out on Switch. I don't know why it's not.
I'm still waiting for the new Shovel Knight amiibos. I have a slight amiibo obsession since I have literally.
You mean you have every amiibo?
I'm missing one. I'm missing one. I think that's the Dark Edition. No, I have that one. I have the Gold Mega Man, Gold Mario, Silver Mario. I have the giant Yarn Yoshi. I have all the smaller Yarn Yoshis. I have the Skylanders, Bowser, and Donkey Kong. And then I'm trying to remember which one. I have one of the Black Editions. I'm missing the other one. It's whichever one came with the 3DS Black Edition of Skylanders. That's the only amiibo I'm missing right now from North America. I'm missing a few from Japan. I got to get the Monster Hunter ones and the Box Boy.
Oh yeah, the Monster Hunter Stories one that didn't come out.
Yeah, they work with the American game though. If you get the amiibos, they will work with the American game. But they're bigger amiibos, and they actually can change the writers out. I'm a dork. I would do it. Not going to lie. All right, so you can find me at Zenspath, Zenspath on Twitter. Of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, you already know, but you can go to youtube.com/Zenspath.com. That's Zenspathcom. No period. I'm also under Zenspath on Twitch, which we're now starting to stream again. So I'll probably hook it up, play a little bit more a little bit later, get that going. And we'll take requests on what kind of games people want to see, or just come chat with us, because that's what I have fun doing. I'm going to try and get some other friends over to play with me, because I think it's more fun when at least two of us are sitting here playing the game.
It's a lot easier.
You get the constant interaction of goofing off with each other. I really want to get someone else here when I do Batman, though, because it's fun to argue over decisions when you have like seconds to make them. Do this, do that, no. Or someone screws with you and just like hits a button randomly. I'm debating if I want my Batman to be like a complete jerk, or if I want him to be like the nice Batman. I think I'm going to make
something in between, which is even more of a monster.
Yeah, I think I'm going to make him mean. Like he's just going to snap at everybody and just punch people, because it's Batman. He don't care. It's early Batman. He's grumpy and young. All right. Well, it has been a pleasure. Kevin, we do appreciate the fact you've actually been listening and talking with us. It's been nice for this episode. Hopefully we'll see you again more. Talk with us on if you message me on Twitter, I talk to people all the time, so I will respond back and chat with you. But I've been your host, Jeremy Powers. Caleb has been my guest. I appreciate it once again, my friend.
Bye.
And this has been episode 12 of the Zenspath podcast, and we're out. Peace.